My name is N8tive, and I'm an artist. Yeah, artist. I am from, well, location-wise, I'm from Southeast London, specifically Woolwich, and country-wise, I am Nigerian. I got into music by my mum, actually. So when I was 8 years old, I used to run around in the church, one of them naughty kids, you get me? So my mum basically told me, like, stop running around, join a choir. So I was like the only boy in the choir at the time. So just a small, with like a mad high-pitched voice. So obviously through that, I just kind of fell in love with music. It was specifically gospel music at the time. So I spent like 8 years in the choir learning from, whoever was there. Specifically, someone called Uncle Sam told me everything I know about music. Music. He was the pianist at the time, and yeah, I sang for 8 years. Then my voice broke. My voice broke, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really trying to do the singing thing no more. So I was like, still love music. So what can I do? So one day I must have been on the toilet and I must have typed in, just random 90s songs, innit? You get me? So I listened to these songs, and because a lot of, I listened to the songs and it just took me to another space. I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is mad. This is crazy. But a lot of it was like 90s American songs. So I was proper obsessed with like 90s music, the whole 90s persona, everything. And then, yeah, I basically started rapping from there. And then, obviously, DC, right? Yeah, DC used to live in the seventh floor in my flat. So we were family friends. And one day he just pulled me to the side. He's like, yeah, no, you're not going to blow doing this kind of doing this kind of music. He was like, you need to listen to your UK stuff. So he sent me a couple videos of like Tim Westwood freestyles and stuff like that. And then I studied that. And then basically everything just came together. I had like a US influence, a UK and a church background, and just made my own sound from it. You know? The first ever song I ever wrote was some freestyle. And it was basically like the first experiment of me like trying to do like the gram thing. And it was literally just a bunch of, wait, can I curse? It's a bunch of shit. I was talking hella shit in the bars, nothing made sense, nothing was cohesive, but the flow was there. And obviously because I kind of idolized a grime artist called Double S at the time, I was just flowing like him, but with absolutely no context, no nothing. And it was just bare funny. I look back at it and I cringe, but yeah, that was literally the first ever set of bars I ever wrote in my life. Obviously, back then I used to think rapping fast was cool. You get me? Like, it's just chatting hella shit. It's funny because I rap bare slow now. Like, I'm very, like, swingy with my rap. But yeah, I couldn't even remember. So cultures influenced me in various ways. Um, the whole reason behind my name Native is because obviously native means to belong to something or to originate from something. And obviously my whole message is about identity crisis. So obviously I grew up in a church, listening to American gospel. I watched American TV shows, but I lived in the UK, but I'm also Nigerian. Like there were so many different cultures that man was struggling to deal with. And every time you go to one of these places, you're not really one of them. I went to Nigeria recently, and it was nice. I can say I'm Nigerian, but when I went into Nigeria, I did not feel Nigerian. Do you get what I mean? I was there, and it just didn't feel like I was a part of them, and it was kind of like a shock to me. I always knew, but it was a shock to me, and I was like, nah. There's probably a lot of kids out here who are like second generation immigrants who can't speak their own language. They don't feel like they belong in London or England, but they also don't feel like they belong at home either. So the music I mostly make is like just tackling sort of things like that and talking about those struggles. Primarily, I listen to a lot of like, boy, a lot of alternative hip hop. Then I listen to like a lot of R&B, house music, amapiano, Afro, some retro music, some 80s, 90s soul. So I just listen to so much music. Yeah, my playlist is just bare confusing if you was to look at it. My favorite artist of all time. Um, I don't agree with his ideals, but Kanye. Kanye, like talent wise, he is just. I like to describe him as like the greatest artist of all time. He's not the best singer, he's not the best rapper, but he's insane. Like you will sample something ridiculous and put it together and make it sound something refreshing. And that's kind of what inspired me to like that's a gender, genre bend everything together. Not to be afraid to try different things. You know what I mean? So he kind of pioneered that for me. Tribe is basically, so there's 8 people in my tribe. And basically, we are basically going to be the teachers of like the new school, the new generation of people that's coming. So obviously, we're going to be masters in our own right. We're still learning. We're still young. We're only like 24, 23, all of us. But obviously, because there's different things that we've gone through in terms of like heritage, culture, and also being in the industry, obviously, I've kind of told the people that I wanted to be in my tribe that we have a responsibility to make sure that things like this don't repeat again. If you really want to change something, you have to break it. In my opinion, anyway. Because in this industry, a lot of people get done dirty and they're like, oh, no, that's dead. Like, I'm not doing this with this man. And there's a lot of spite and there's a lot of retaliation that goes on in the industry, which is why the industry can feel kind of cliquey. Do you get me? But I've spoken to each and every one of my tribe and I've told them, listen, it doesn't have to be like this. Do you get me? Like, it doesn't have to be like this. I told them to join my tribe, and you're not serving me. I'm no leader. You man are all leaders in your own right, in your own fields. This is more of like an alliance between our worlds to make sure that we can come together and make sure that the people after us don't have to go through the same things we did when we was in the industry. You get me?
I like pines.
What?
I like J Hugs.
I like Jets.
Alright, cool. Let me show you a little thing. Yeah, you get me. Yeah. Two bars in that. Alright, cool. Man wanna fight when it's tight. Man will try run from my sight, and my face is gleaming in the limelight. Till the guy hold tight, till the guy roll safe, till the guy just might shine bright in darkness.